a trailblazer in medicine, the unforgettable story of the first Native American woman. Dr. Susan LaFleche didn't just break one barrier, she shattered two. In the 1880s, she defied the odds and became the first Native American woman doctor in the United States, making history and inspiring generations to come. Her journey began with a moment that would forever ignite a fire within her. At just 8 years old, Susan LaFleche sat at the bedside of an elderly woman, anxiously awaiting the doctor who had been summoned 4 times. Each time, he promised to come, but he never arrived. As the night wore on, the woman's labored breathing faded, and she died in agony before the dawn. Even as a child, Susan understood the brutal reality. The doctor's absence was a message that this woman's life didn't matter. That night seared itself into young Susan's heart, driving her to vow that one day she would become the healer her people needed. "It has always been a desire of mine to study medicine ever since I was a small girl," she wrote, reflecting on the moment that changed everything. Against all odds, Susan LaFleche would go on to achieve her dream, becoming not just a doctor, but a beacon of hope for her Omaha tribe and a symbol of perseverance for Native Americans and women everywhere. Her legacy is one of resilience, courage, and an unbreakable will to heal. "For even then, I saw the need of my people for a good physician." Born in a humble buckskin teepee on the Omaha Indian Reservation in northeast Nebraska on June 17, 1865, Susan LaFleche entered a world of change. Unlike her ancestors, she was not given a traditional Omaha name. Her mixed-race parents, led by her visionary father, Chief Joseph LaFleche, also known as Iron Eye, recognized that their world was shifting rapidly. He understood that the Omaha people were now living in what he called a white man's world, where adaptation was the key to survival. As the tribe's chief guardian, Iron Eye was determined that his children, especially his 4 daughters, would not only survive but thrive. He began a rigorous campaign to prepare them for the future. English would be their primary language, and white schools their path forward. This was not just education, it was a lifeline. He knew that in order for his children and his people to endure, they would need to embrace new ways while still holding on to their roots. For Susan, this meant carrying the weight of her people's future on her shoulders, even as she pursued a path that would forever change the course of history. She wasn't just learning for herself. She was learning to heal a tribe, a culture, and a legacy. While Iron Eye was determined that Susan retain her Omaha identity, teaching her the tribe's traditional songs, beliefs, customs, and language, he also knew that survival in the changing world meant embracing new ways. So, he sent her to a Presbyterian mission school on the reservation, where she learned English and became a devout Christian. But Iron Eye's vision for his daughter didn't stop there. At just 14 years old, Susan was sent east to attend a girls' school in Elizabeth, New Jersey, an experience that expanded her world beyond the boundaries of the reservation. She later attended Virginia's Hampton Institute, where she studied alongside the children of former slaves and other Native Americans, experiencing firsthand the challenges and shared struggles of marginalized communities. The name Omaha means against the current, and few embodied that spirit more than Susan LaFleche. Defying expectations, Susan took the boldest step yet by enrolling in the Women's Medical College of Pennsylvania. It was an audacious move at a time when even the most privileged white women faced overwhelming discrimination in the male-dominated field of medicine. But Susan was determined to rise above every obstacle, her heritage, her gender, and the biases of the time, to fulfill her dream of healing not just her people, but all those in need. Her journey was a testament to strength, courage, and a relentless drive to push against the current, no matter how strong. In the late 19th century, the obstacles facing women in medicine were staggering. Articles published in journals like Popular Science Monthly claimed women were intellectually inferior due to their smaller brains, and others argued that their menstrual cycles rendered them unfit for scientific pursuits. A Harvard doctor even penned a 300-page thesis asserting that women should be barred from attending college, warning that the stress would damage their reproductive organs. When you read these theories in scientific journals, you realize what all women were facing, author Joe Starita explained. Yet despite such rampant sexism, Susan LaFlèche persevered. In 1889, she not only defied these archaic beliefs, but shattered them, graduating at the very top of her 36-woman class to make history as the first Native American woman doctor. Though she was urged to stay on the East Coast, where she could have lived a comfortable life in the medical field, LaFlèche had a different calling. At just 24 years old, she made the brave decision to return to the Omaha Reservation, determined to fulfill her destiny as a healer for her people. Her journey wasn't just about personal achievement. It was about giving back, defying limits, and rewriting what was possible for women and Native Americans alike. As the only doctor for 144 patients spread across a vast territory of 1,350 square miles, Susan LaFlèche, known to many as Dr. Sue, became a lifeline for her people. Her house calls were grueling. Long stretches of her 20-hour workdays were spent bundled in a buffalo robe, braving snow-covered plains and bone-chilling sub-zero winds, with only her trusty mare, Hat, and her dog, Pudge, by her side. When she finally returned home, exhausted, she was often greeted by a line of coughing, wheezing patients waiting for her care. For Dr. Sue, the work never ended. Even while she slept, the lantern in her window burned brightly, a beacon for anyone who needed help at any hour. Her dedication was tireless, but it wasn't just about treating the sick. LaFlèche championed hygiene and preventive care, preaching the healing power of fresh air and sunshine long before it became mainstream. But her mission didn't stop there. Continuing her father's legacy, she fiercely opposed the white whiskey peddlers who exploited the tribe, standing up as a passionate advocate for prohibition. LaFlèche's life was a testament to resilience, compassion, and an unyielding commitment to her people's well-being, despite the personal sacrifices it demanded. She wasn't just a doctor, she was a warrior for her community, fighting on all fronts to heal and protect those in her care. The same fears that troubled Susan LaFlèche as a woman in the late 19th century still echo in the lives of women today. Despite her tireless crusade against alcohol's devastating effects on her community, it found its way into her own home. Her husband, battling alcoholism, succumbed to tuberculosis, worsened by his drinking, and passed away in 1905, leaving LaFlèche a widow with 2 young sons. By then, the healer herself was in desperate need of healing. Years of relentless work had taken a toll on her body, leaving her with chronic pain and respiratory problems. Yet even in her grief and physical suffering, she pressed on with unbreakable resolve. In 1913, she achieved one of her greatest feats, opening a hospital near Walthall, Nebraska, the first facility of its kind to be built on reservation land without any federal government support. This hospital, a beacon of hope, welcomed anyone in need of care, regardless of age, gender, or skin color. In a world where division often dictated who could receive medical treatment, LaFlèche's hospital stood as a symbol of equality and compassion, embodying her lifelong commitment to healing and justice for all. Her legacy as a pioneering doctor and advocate continues to inspire, transcending the boundaries of time. Author Joe Starita believes that Susan LaFlèche, who passed away at the age of 50 on September 18, 1915, faced more significant discrimination as a woman than as a Native American. Despite breaking barriers in both realms, it was her gender that presented the greatest obstacles in her path to becoming a doctor and serving her community. Her story is one of resilience, determination, and an unwavering commitment to healing, proving that even in the face of immense adversity, she forged a path for future generations. Thank you for watching and listening.